That was much needed. Sponsored by Cha-Cha Matcha.
No, we need to get that sponsored. Well, everyone, welcome to the second episode of Trying to Figure It Out.
Yes.
We have my amazing friend Jordyn here today.
Hi.
She is literally probably the first person I could ever think of to have on this podcast. If you remember, we were sitting at Cha-Cha Matcha like probably a month ago, and I was telling you all about the podcast, and you were like, what's the name? I was like, I'm trying to figure it out. And you were like,
no, that's it.
wait, that's literally it.
Yeah.
You were just ready with that name. And then I was like, wait, does that make sense? And then I thought about the theme of the podcast, and it was literally exactly what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, you nailed it.
Oh.
So with that, I can't think of a better way to cheers to the first guest on the pod.
Yes.
We have Cha-Cha Matcha here
trying
today.
to reach.
I know. It's hard to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite drink?
Purple drink, macadamia. She gets it. She gets it.
I knew today. I was like, it's got to be the macadamia milk always.
Well, I'm happy for you, by the way.
Thank you.
Congrats on the podcast and all your success. I feel like at such a young age.
Thank you. I mean, right back at you. Are you kidding?
Oh, no.
Everyone in LA is talking about this right now. How was Coachella?
Oh my gosh, Coachella. Well, I feel like every year has been an easier experience. Okay, so I started off my first year, I was GA and I was car camping.
No
Like,
way.
car camping, you know what I'm talking about, which is an experience I think everyone should go through. But if you've ever had VIP or stayed in a house, it's not like you're gonna go car camping the next year. So I feel like I did it right. I went car camping GA, then I went VIP and I stayed with Sheehan at a house that was driving from the festival, and it was okay. It was a chill experience for sure. Then this year I was artist and I stayed with White Fox, and it was walking distance to the festival. So it's each year just got an easier kind of weight off of my back. And I actually preferred the last couple years as performances and artists. So this year I feel like the artists were a 5 out of 10 in my personal opinion. But my overall Coachella experience was a 9 out of 10.
Do you feel like you go for the artists, or do you feel like you go for the experience?
I go for the artists.
Okay.
And,
I love that
and
for
a
you.
little bit about the content, I'd say.
Of course.
I literally had to do a TikTok a day, an Instagram post a day, and a story a day for the brand I was working with.
Whoa.
So it's kind of content and artists for
You're,
me, because I
working,
have to,
you
which
know?
is fun. Content for Coachella is the vibe. You can't complain. The outfits are sick,
that.
and the I don't know, it's just a vibe, and I can't complain.
I feel that. Well, that leads me to my next question. Which day was your favorite outfit?
Ooh.
And what did you wear, obviously?
I don't think I ever posted my favorite outfit. But it wasn't very Coachella. It was just very Jordyn, okay? I wore just the black trousers, tight at the waist,
Baggy
good
leg.
fitting, baggy pants with a bathing suit top that had gold. It was black bathing suit top, and then in the middle it had just gold and it said White Fox. So and I wore a black blazer. So all you could see was the little gold in the middle, and then the blazer with the pants, and I did a high ponytail, and I was honestly, this is a vibe, and I think it's my favorite. But I never posted it.
Well, maybe we can get the sneak peek
Yes.
of the podcast and show everyone what the
Yes,
outfit
I'll
was.
send you a little pic. She'll pop
All right,
up.
a little behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up a very long way away from Coachella. You're from Michigan. My
Yes.
family's from Michigan, so I kind of know a little bit about what it's like. I've always lived close to big cities, and I mean, you are not too far from Detroit, but what was it like growing up in a small town in Michigan versus the life you have now?
Whew, I mean, so different, but I'm so thankful I still have that. So I think that's what makes me a little different than a lot of other girls out in LA is when a lot of girls move here, they just get caught up in the scene here. And I have always had that going away to home and being muddy still and not doing my hair and makeup and having family time, going fishing. I just have that still. And so I'm so thankful to be from there and still have that. And I feel like that's who I still am today, which is really good to say. That will forever feel like home to me, even though recently, ever since I moved into my apartment by myself in LA, I've kind of really felt like LA has also become my home. When I've lived here for so long, I never even felt like that.
Totally. That's the best feeling I've experienced. Like, home will always be home, but knowing that you made a place for yourself that feels like a
Mm-hmm.
different kind of home is such a cool way to like start transitioning into that phase of really feeling like an adult and
Yeah.
just doing your own thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of my listeners who don't know, Michigan is the automobile capital of America, and you are a car lover, as we know. So, where did your love of cars come from?
Okay, so I've always been an adrenaline junkie, and I think that's really where it came from. My family had four-wheelers and snowmobiles, but you would not catch me driving. I was always terrified of getting like behind the wheel. But I think where it started was um I started going to this place called West Coast Customs out in LA because we were family friends and I did a music video for one of the sons. So we just got super close. We became like we're like still family friends.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I was just like free or whatever it was, I would always go chill there. And West Coast Customs is a rap shop, they're on Pimp My Ride. They have like, he has a West Coast Customs like Netflix show or something. And they do Travis Scott's cars, Jeffree Star, Post Malone, Justin Bieber. They do all the cars. So I was always around that, but it was never like, oh, I want one of these.
Yeah.
So where that started was I kind of got into the car community in LA, which is all my friends. And technically my ex-boyfriend introduced me to people because he was super into it. So I started hanging around all these people that just had like supercars and hypercars or whatever it was, and car shows, car meets. And as soon as I was like, okay, the next thing I want to purchase is a car, but I don't even think I had my license yet. So I learned how to drive during COVID in Michigan, and that's when I came out to LA and I started just driving around like one of his cars or something. And he forced me to basically drive from, I remember this moment, from Westlake Village to Santa Monica. But I was taking the canyons because I was like afraid of the freeways. So then by the end of that, I was like, wait, I want to drive home on the freeway. So as soon as I did that, I like broke all these barriers in the same day and like conquered all these fears that I was just like, all right, I need a supercar and I need a car. So then I got a car. I have oh my God, I almost just said I have a Huracan. Oh my God. I wanted a Huracan, but I bought a Lamborghini Aventador Roadster.
That's so sick. I've been seeing it all over, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to ask for a ride soon.
Oh,
I
you
feel like you're
have
like
to
one of the few
go.
people I would trust to drive me in one of those cars.
I
feel
always
you,
tell
it's so scary. Like, it's
I always tell everyone, I'm like, my mom loves me. I can't have anything happen to me. So
Seriously,
anyone
though.
should trust me driving because my mom loves me too much.
What was your relationship like when you grew up with your brothers and your parents as a kid, doing all the things that you were doing? Was it hard to stay close and stay in touch? What was that like for you?
That's a good question. My mom and I lived in California while my little brother and a little later my older brother moved out to LA, but at the beginning it was my brother was in college and older brother was in college in Chicago. My little brother and my dad were at home in Michigan, like farmers, you know. Like my little brother absolutely hated LA. He totally had what it took to just like be a model even if he wanted to do it, and we had him in agency for a while, but it just wasn't his thing. He needed to be like that guy at home.
Yeah, I feel that.
And school and like normal life, I guess, was his thing. So my dad worked in agriculture and he was kind of like gone sometimes, so my mom would have to come back and be with him in the beginning. But then when my mom and I were like, okay, we need to move to LA, we just moved to LA and they stayed home now. And then my older brother joined us out in LA when I filmed Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. So he was kind of like holding down the fort and all the dogs. And my little brother and my dad were just happy in Michigan. They came out for holidays and birthdays and everything like that. To be honest, I felt like my childhood went by like so fast that it didn't even feel like I was away that much. And I'm thankful for it, for sure. Like, my dad and brother just knew that that's what needed to happen. And my dad wasn't going to have me being in LA alone without my mom.
Right.
And even when I was 18, it was like I wasn't done needing my mom. And, like, again, I didn't have a driver's license. She'd drive me to my auditions. She'd drive me to music video sets. Like, she was my personal assistant, my mom, my manager, like, everything in one. So I just had to have her. We made it work, and that was how it was.
I kind of love that, though. It's kind of cool to have such a unique relationship with your mom, you know? I mean, obviously it comes with hardship having your mom also manage you and do all that stuff, but it's such a blessing to get to have so much unlimited time together. So you grew up dancing.
Yes.
How did that start for you? Did you always love to dance as a little kid? Like, what got you into that? And was it that you were just amazing at it and everyone was like, okay, this is a talent that she has? What was it for you?
I think that's correct, to be honest. Like, I don't really remember. Like I said, I just know that my mom and dad owned the studio, so I always got like extra hours, and I was always improvising in the studio late at night. I was always improving. I would go to dance competitions in Chicago and Detroit. I would take like master classes by like the most iconic choreographers, and I would get scholarships to keep going back and back and back.
Yeah.
And then there was this dance convention called the Pulse on Tour, and that's where I really started being like, holy crap, I'm really good at dancing, and everyone here is so good.
Yeah.
And it became like,
It's a
let me
great
tell
song.
my brother, yeah,
It's a great song.
hopefully there's nothing serious going on. If he calls again, I'll just be like,
No,
pause.
if you have to answer, we can stop.
Yeah,
for a second.
you're good.
Don't worry.
I said I'm in a podcast, so let's just see. So basically, okay, let's just see. He needs math help. Oh my god. So like, oh my god, like what?
I feel like that taps into everything you were just saying about, is this the brother that didn't want to leave Michigan?
Yes.
Okay, that is so fitting.
No, yeah, he's trying to be an electrician or something, and he needs to do a math test to be that. I don't even know. We clearly have different life paths. But going back to dancing, basically, there was like 14-year-old like crew of just professional dancers. We were so good. So we were all proteges. And then if you're like really good by the end of the year, there's like a huge nationals. 4 dancers from intermediate, 4 dancers from advanced, and 4 dancers from like advanced pro were the top dancers that became elite proteges. So being an elite protege meant I was basically the one of 4 of the best dancers in my age group. Everyone went there, and if you were like that top 4, it was like insane. So because of that, my mom was like, all right, we need to take this serious and move to LA. So that's kind of where it all took off.
Okay.
It was like the Pulse on Tour, elite protege, professional dancing, backup dancing, music videos, stuff like that.
So sick.
It's a lot. It was a lot in 5 years, I swear. Like I did like 15 years of work.
That's insane. I can't imagine. Okay, I have to have my brief fangirl moment because I did grow up watching Dance Moms, and obviously I watched the Abby Lee Dance Ultimate Dance.
Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. I was literally obsessed. It was a big phase in my life.
Me in Asia.
Literally think about that show all the time.
Yes.
Like, it's just insane. So it's very exciting for me to be talking about this with you. Like, definitely a brief fangirl moment. Walk me through how you went from the dance world to where you are now, because I feel like dance is always going to be a huge part of your life, but you're more like on TikTok now, you're podcasting, you're doing all this different stuff. I mean, the car stuff I feel like has almost become part of your like brand.
Yeah,
so
to be honest.
how did you get to that point where you're at now?
Dancing, yeah. Basically, it was all transitional and organic for me. It wasn't ever in my mind that I wanted to be a dancer my whole life. It was I wanted to be a triple threat. So when I was able to be in LA and be around all of this, like being from Michigan, there's like 2 dance studios maybe, but there's about nothing else. Like I was able to have the resources and connections and people around me who were successful and talented and driven. So because of that, I was like kind of so good at dancing to the point of I was like, all right, well, it's time to do something else to get to that goal of Britney Spears that I want to be at, because I don't need to put all my eggs in one basket. So I started doing vocal lessons and I started doing acting classes. Then I was in a girl group, and that's what really transferred for me. I was basically hired as a dancer in this girl group, but then I was rapping in it.
That's
That's
sick.
rapping in this girl group brought me into this world. I started off with rapping and doing my own music videos, my own cover music videos on my YouTube channel, grew my YouTube channel, started singing more because I was in singing classes, but I wasn't ready to just like go belting. So I took singing classes and then left the girl group, was on the dance show, which again grew my following. So my following was growing at the same time I was like kind of behind the scenes growing as a musician and artist and all of these things at once. That as soon as I was off the TV show, I was able to really focus on my like social media career with singing as my main thing then.
That's amazing. You said before that your childhood went by super fast.
Mhm.
What is it like being in the spotlight at such a young age and now even?
I would much rather prefer the path I had than an overnight, like, if I would have just blown up on TikTok, I just feel like I would have been a lot different. Just because I'm not like using people or a social climber or like dating people for clout or whatever it is, or going to these events to network. It's like I've really just stayed me and used my platforms the way I've wanted to for so long that I am working for that longevity. And yeah, I've been in the spotlight, but it's almost been like I grew up in it, so it's normal.
That's
And
like
I
what you
can't
know.
even describe it.
I know that feeling. I talked actually about this last week in my
Yeah.
podcast in a totally different way. But, you know, I grew up with divorced parents and
Mhm.
that's all I know. And I said, like, a big takeaway for me is like people could ask me what it's like living with divorced parents. And I'm like, kind of similar to you. I don't know anything else. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't
and
know
I'm
anything
just-
else.
It's just what I'm used to. So it doesn't
Yeah.
feel as weird as it would to an outsider.
Yeah, I wasn't just like thrown into this and then wake up with 10 million followers. It's so gradual, like so
Imagine
gradual.
just tomorrow morning.
Who bought them? Hey.
You know, now you're 22
Mhm.
and you're legally able to drink and you live in a world where there's so many events that you have to go to. Part of them is just for work that you have to show up and
Connect, network.
I know that you don't drink.
Mhm.
So how do you manage attending these work events where other people are partying and that's not really part of who you are?
I always say if I did drink or I did do drugs or I did smoke weed, because I feel like those are kind of like groups or ways to connect with people, and it's almost a lot of people do it to be cool or to fit in or to be in that circle or that group, or yeah, they need alcohol to talk to that person or to stay at the event, or they go to that event because there's an open bar. But I always say this, they're like, oh, open bar tonight, like let's go.
That's the way to get people to show up somewhere,
Yeah, I
literally.
swear it's insane. And I'm just like, but I definitely would be a lot more successful if I was a networker, but that's just not in me. And I feel like that's also why I don't even care to try to drink or anything like that. But it is something when I have to go to an event and everyone is just drinking, or it is harder for me to like talk to people. I am completely an introvert when it comes to anything that I'm invited to be honest. But yeah, I've just never been a fan of being around it, so I don't even really go to events. Like
Yeah.
I in like 2015 and 16 when I was really young and no one was doing that, I would pop out. I would have to have my hair, makeup, and stylist come every day for a red carpet event at night. Whatever it was, like I was at all these places. But just getting older, when it just comes to events and networking and drinking and stuff like that, like I can easily just step back and maybe miss an opportunity or two. But in the long run, I feel like it's way better for me.
At what point did you make that choice and why?
Mhm.
Why did you make that choice?
Yeah, I always just knew that I never wanted to be addicted to anything for my kids.
Yeah.
And I just, because I have an addictive personality, so I knew I was never going to drink when I was like 15. Like I just knew. And because some of my friends did like start drinking or whatever. And honestly, I was around a bunch of people who had the same mindset. Like I had a lot of friends who had similar like experiences where they were like, yeah, I have an addictive personality and like I don't want to go out. And it was my friends, we'd play tag. Like I'm 16 and 17 playing tag at Oakwood with like 16 of
So
my
you,
friends
by
in
the
like
way.
Newcomb, which is like this volleyball game, and like this game called Manhunt, or did I said tag, but it's called Manhunt. But
Okay.
that was just like my group. I always knew that I wanted to stay young and fun for as long as possible, and I just know how much drinking like brings you down and like basically makes you depressed, and anything I'm the opposite of that. So I just knew I never like needed it or wanted it or anything. But yeah, I did lose my dad to alcohol. He fell down the stairs while he was drunk and hit his head. So it's like I always knew I never wanted to drink. That's honestly why I'm so passionate about kind of my story of kind of letting people know how serious it can be, whether it's college or whatnot. It's like people have to really realize the anything can happen. Accidents can happen. Sure, I can be sober and fall down the stairs. I get it. I know that it's not like it's not it's not like an everyday thing, but for sure accidents happen, and I want people to be more knowledgeable about their actions and their family members and things like that. And I just want to live forever, and I want everyone to live forever, and that's just like me. So any way I can kind of make that happen, I just roll with that.
I have so much respect for that. First off, I'm so sorry for your loss, and I'm so sorry that you had to experience that at the age that you were at.
Yeah.
And all
I think
of
I was
that.
19.
Yeah, I don't even know how to say anything other than I'm so proud of you and the person that you are. Like, you are one of the strongest people I've ever met.
Thank you.
I have so much respect for, you're not shamey, you're not judgy, you're just so real about the fact that, like, you are so caring, you love everyone, you want everyone to, you literally just said you want everyone to live forever, and you want to do what you can to do that. Like, that's just, like, I have so much respect for that, and
thank you.
I really appreciate it, and it definitely is advice that I try to think about very often.
I know you
as
do.
your friend.
I know you do.
So is LA everything you thought it would be?
I just saw a post today that someone was answering this, and they were like, living in LA is like a movie. And honestly, that is so it. Like,
it's so true.
It is so crazy how different my life is when I'm in LA in my routine, and how different it is in Michigan. I swear I'm living Hannah Montana. Like, I go home and I'm one thing, and I come out here and I'm like, where's the matcha and the air one? And like, there's so much traffic, and everyone's trying to be successful and rich. And then I go home to Michigan, and it's just like, people are literally watching series. Like, I can't, like, I'm like, people are watching shows, and we're like living in them. You know what I'm saying?
So true.
My life is just so go, go, go. And living in LA, it's like, I have something from like 8 to 8. Or I just like pack my schedule. Like, I have Pilates, and I don't even know. Just living in LA is something that is so real from shows that it's insane. You see people just like vlogging on the street, and it's so normal. And if I were to do that in Michigan, I would literally be like screamed at by boys in a truck. Literally.
Okay, I have a total sidebar now because you mentioned Hannah Montana, and I have this crazy question that I think about all the time. Okay, if Hannah Montana went to your school, but like it was the Miley Cyrus and like she was hiding it, do you think you would have figured it out? Because no one ever figured it out in her high school. But like, do you think you would have known?
Oh, yes. I have
so?
this like weird intuition, and I love like stalking and finding things out. It's just like it soothes my boredom.
Okay.
Like, you know those girls that can find out anything at any time, anywhere by like one hint? I'm pretty
so you're
sure
a PI.
Yeah.
You're a secret PI.
And that's what I say. Like, if I wasn't doing what I was doing, I would be a personal investigator. I'd be FBI. I would be like
CIA. For sure.
Yeah, that's what I would be. CIA. Because I feel like I can get away with anything, and I can figure out anything. So I swear, like, I see, like, it just makes me crazy. But like my friends be like, oh, who was he with last night? And I can figure it out in 12 seconds.
I'm gonna need to hire you sometime.
Yeah. No, literally. And it's just no one plays games with me, because I can just. I figured everything out.
You just are going to
know. I'd figure it out. I figure out who my Miley Cyrus is.
Okay. So, hot take, you would know. I feel like I wouldn't. I'm just so gullible.
Oh, no, not me. I don't know why.
She was kind of nerdy at her school, which nothing wrong with that, but she was kind of nerdy, so I feel like I wouldn't be, like, looking into, like, what she was really doing when she went home. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to really know. You talked about the party scene. You talked about how you kind of just do your own thing. What is it like for you just living in LA and having everything you do be on the internet?
Since probably January or December, I've held my love life back, and I never did that. I always had public relationships, public this, but I've just recently started to kind of understand that private, not a secret, is a thing, and
that's a great
kind
way
of
to say it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to hide a little bit more of my personal life, but I like can't go even 3 hours without posting on my story. So it's like, if that's what I'm doing with my life, like if I'm hanging out with someone all day, every day, and I have to post, it's my job. There's just some things I can't hide, and I don't want to. But that's just really the only thing. I mean, what you see is kind of what you get with me. And I'm so active on every platform, to be honest, that I'm an open book.
Yeah.
And I have a podcast. Like, anyone who has a podcast, literally, like, there's
Signing
nothing
up.
that you have to talk about everything. So
That's literally what I'm trying to do here. So I'm really grateful that you're here to do it with me, because I feel like with me starting this space, I just want to get into the deep stuff and talk about stuff that isn't as easy to talk about, especially when you have a microphone in your face and a camera on you. But I just want to share stories, and I think you're giving so much advice that people are going to really appreciate. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So how would you say your relationship with your family has evolved in the last few years since you've really been out here alone? Because now your mom's back in Michigan.
Honestly, I don't like that I can't be with my mom every 5 seconds. I relied on her for sure, and I just know that my brother like needs my mom, and we have literally 6 cats and 5 dogs, so it's basically impossible for her to live in LA with me in the apartment with all those animals. So like I get it, and she works for the family business, so she like has her own thing going on right now, and she's very happy, and she just gets to just be back home, and like she's doing yard work right now, and she's just so happy, and I love going back home, and it makes it for sure more special. My brother, I mean, like we've just like dealt with the fact that we are kind of like long distance siblings, and my long distance sibling, so honestly we are just like still super close, but it's just not the same for sure. But it's very special when they get to come out to LA. My brother helped me move into my apartment, and that's the last time he was in LA.
When was that?
Like July.
Whoa.
But like I go back there. Like I was there for what just happened.
Your mom's birthday.
My mom's birthday.
And
it was your birthday. Yes. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
But yeah, I was just there for like 5 days. I mean, you know, it's like all about growing up, and I did it a lot later than a lot of people. So it's hard, but living alone is the best thing for me right now. Like I love living alone right now. Like
it's so good.
Everything is the way I want it.
Even if you want to be messy for a few days, like if you ever did, it's like it's fine. If you choose to live in the mess, you choose to live in it. It is what it is.
But my mess is literally like 4 clothes on the ground, and my bed's just not made. Like I'm never home, so there's never a mess.
It's not even possible. Do you feel a pressure to take care of your family? And that doesn't have to be financially, but do you feel this like need to support them in more ways than you did before?
Good question. Honestly, the only reason I say yes about financially is because my mom and dad put in probably upward of $1 million to my career.
Wow.
So I owe them so much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the type of person to just like I don't know. I'm like a giver. My whole family says like if I have it, I'm going to like give it even if I don't have it. Like
Relatable.
That's literally how it kind of is. Every kid's dream is to basically buy their mom a house or like support their parents or have their parents never work again. And so like that is me, and I am able to do that, so I'm going to do that. My mom, sure, she works for the family business, and it's not like she's relying on me really, but it's like I like to help them and just like do special things for them whenever I can. And it's not that I feel like I'm needed in that scenario. I know I make money. I know why I make money, and so I'm going to pay that forward whenever I get the chance or can or am able to.
I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
Would you say you're like more of an empath?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that's why we get along very well and understand each other. Okay. So we're just going to do like a fun rapid fire section just because why not?
Okay.
So you love baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers first place right now. Mm-hmm. Congrats.
Yep.
What
as they should
is your favorite thing about going to Dodger Stadium?
Oh my gosh, the vibes. I can't even give you a solid answer, but like when you just walk in, it's like it's equivalent to Disneyland, and Dodger Stadium is like the 2 best places on earth, and your bed.
I agree. I'm
Yep.
a Disney adult, so I feel you.
Yes.
What are the 3 coolest cars you've gone to drive, and what are you driving right now? You kind of already
Okay.
touched on that, but
My car's number 1, Aventador. It's the best car I've driven, and it's my car. That's so crazy to
So
even be able
sick.
to say.
Congrats.
Another experience in a car I'll never forget is I drove a Lamborghini Huracan up the coast for Monterey Car Week, and that experience that's why I needed a Aventador or any supercar, really. I thought I wanted a Huracan because of that scenario, because I was like, wow, I didn't think I could be in a supercar for 6 hours and be comfortable and say it's fun at the same time. So Huracan, and then third, I would honestly say my Tesla. Like, okay, I drove my friend's Plaid, which is the fastest production car right now, and it is it should be illegal. I think that you need to have a special license.
I agree.
It is
completely.
overpowered, and it is scary.
That's
how
terrifying.
I
And if you're
drive.
saying that,
I drive.
I believe you because
And-
I feel like you go fast.
My car is 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. I think that car's like 1.2 seconds.
That
You-
doesn't even make sense. How is that street legal?
I don't know. I don't think it should be. It's so fun. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's like up there with the best cars I've driven.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm terrified of everything, so I'm just gonna go with
She's
you.
gonna be
when
with her
you invite
Range
me.
Rover.
Yeah, I'm like a mom driving a literal mom SUV.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what are your top 3 favorite restaurants in LA? They can be vegan, they don't have to be.
Oh, yes, vegan.
what are your
Maro's
top
Cafe
best?
or Maro Cafe. So good. Jinya Ramen Bar.
Haven't been there.
What?
We need to
Okay,
go.
we're going.
Okay.
Jinya Ramen Bar. It's not vegan, and they have vegan options. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be happy. And then number 3, probably Air One. It's not really a restaurant, but it's
But it
my
kind of
everyday.
is.
It's my spot.
It kind of, it's become I don't go there for anything except for like the hot food bar.
Yeah.
You can't buy groceries there. It's just not,
No,
it's not acceptable.
come on.
Okay, tattoo portion. Tell me your most meaningful tattoo and then your favorite tattoo.
Most meaningful, to be honest, is probably my newest one. I mean, I have like my date for my mom and dad, and then I have angel wings, so those like are up there. But honestly, I have "Love You Million Years" behind my back, and that's like the saying my whole family has said.
I love
It's
that.
we say "Love you million years" or "Miss you million years," and so I just wanted to get it kind of for my dad, but at the same time, my whole family. It's like
Yeah.
just the saying. We don't just say like "Love you." It's like, or sometimes we just say "million years." And that just kind of means
I
like
love
across the
that.
board. So it was just special, and I love that tattoo. But my sister and I also have a rose, so that's also meaningful.
Amazing. Okay. And lastly, we're going to go into my favorite segment of the
Oh, no.
podcast. It is called, no, don't be scared. You're going to love this. Okay. It's called Alpiece 3. I started a playlist on Spotify where I'm adding all my 3 favorite songs from each episode.
Okay, yes.
And
I know you're say.
it's a whole thing. So you and I kind of bond over the fact that we love Juice WRLD. I feel like we're still keeping him going every day because I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't listen to him
Same.
at all.
Same.
So I want to know your favorite Juice WRLD song, and then I'll give one, and then you can give another one.
Okay. Man of the Year by Juice
I
WRLD.
know you love that song.
You know, isn't that funny?
So funny.
Not
Every
at all.
time I hear that song, I think of you, and it makes me
Yep.
smile. So.
Yeah, that is that's my like wake up. It's about to be a best day ever
You get
song.
your
So Man of the
cha-cha,
Year.
That's your song.
Yep.
I love it. Okay, mine is kind of like random, but it has to be Candles.
Wow. Okay, I was listening to that today.
I listen to it once a day for sure. It's honestly so hard to pick one. It
Mhm.
like doesn't even
And
really
another-
feel right.
Another one I was listening to today that just like was hitting me with like I feel like my like life right now is End of the Road.
That is a good one.
That is so, dude. He is so good.
There's a song for every day and every
There
mood.
is.
It doesn't matter what it is.
It doesn't matter. He has got you covered.
Do you like Titanic?
Yes.
It's an underrated one.
Yes.
It's super random, but I love it.
Honestly, I feel like he is underrated.
I agree. Because obviously he's a legend and everyone
Yes.
knows that, but I don't think people
All his
really
music.
know like the random songs. And that's something I said in the last segment of Alpiece 3.
Mhm.
I was like, I always pick that one song off the album and it's always my favorite, but no one
Mhm.
knows it.
You know, From My Window,
Yeah.
that's also been like up there right
so
now.
good.
It's like another one. It's just like you're not a Juice fan, bro. If you,
You
don't
don't
know the
actually
like
know.
middles, even like his like interludes from that first album, Goodbyes and Good Riddance, like the yeah, why you keep calling me? Like,
Yeah.
I said I was done with you. Like, I don't even know. Like, if you listen to the projects, it's like a
You have to go in
project.
order because
You
it like
do.
it really hits different.
And that's like a part of us just being in the industry and like knowing artists and working with artists, whatever. Like, we know how important like that album is from top to bottom, and it is such a
100%.
project.
And we know what goes into creating it, the storyline. If you miss something, you're just not doing it right. We're wrapping up.
Yes.
I've known you for, I feel like maybe like 6 or 7 months, which is kind of crazy. I can't believe that because there's just certain people you meet and you feel like you've known them forever.
Right? I know.
And something I admire about you so much is how positive you are, how warm you are, how welcoming you are. You are so loving and caring, and I'm just grateful for that. And I hope that my listeners today can take away from you and your attitude and just get some like wisdom out of you, because you're only 22, but you have more wisdom than most people who are in their 70s, and that's something you should never take for granted because it's amazing. So you're gonna have to come back because my studio is gonna be up and running Wednesday, which is so unfortunate because we could have done it there.
Yeah,
but you're just gonna have to be a guest again, and we'll just keep chopping it up. So Jordyn
so
Jones,
okay with that.
thank you so much for being here. I had the best time with you. Do a final cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. All right.
See you.